Peace, peace. What up, y'all? Top of the top. It's your boy Fly Money. You're now in tune with Top Numero Uno. First and foremost, shout out to all my new subscribers out there. Make sure y'all share, like, subscribe this. You know, I appreciate the support, y'all. We're gonna dive right into it. Bel Air, the TV show, versus Snowfall. So, Bel Air, the TV show, depicts a narrative from Will Smith's upbringing with refreshing insight of struggles of young black males and females and the choices they make. Although not everyone has a situation like Will Smith with the resources to have a family to relocate him to a different society in the country, the storyline has a good narrative and updates with hip hop music, which making the new story truly relatable, which coincides with a splash of real topics such as poverty, gun violence, fashion, and an image of who you are once you shift from poverty to capitalism. The characters Uncle Phil and his wife Vivian refresh a format of prominent black role models living amongst their white neighbors and companions. Jeffrey, the butler, has a dose of a more Jamaican accent rather than an English accent from the original show. Hillary, who played the newscaster in an earlier TV show, is a fashionista in culinary arts, as well a YouTuber. Carlton, who has a spoiled brat role with a complex mixed upbringing of rich and a naive accent, or I want to say a naive personality, also has a twist to his character with a mix of opioid and addictions to pills. Also, he seems to be jealous of Will's fortune to his family, embracing him to the family's household. Uncle Phil's role depicts a district attorney who has a creative vision that illustrates he hasn't forgotten where he's came from with a modernized sense of humor, as well as he got a little hip hop and modernized role model figure as well. So my takes along from this show Bel Air, being that Will Smith upbringing, he comes from West Philly. And if y'all know the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, the original show, you know how it goes in his rap. So they brought that to life and they brought really a great sense of now time to speed it up along up to date. And everything that's going on now and whatnot has coincided with time, relatable choices that us young black men and us young black women make, as well as older older black men and older black women. So my take on it was I thought the show was very entertaining. I believe that as I go on, I only watched 2 episodes of it. That it's gonna get the story's gonna get gooder. I saved some. You know, let me know your thoughts and comment if y'all enjoyed watching the show. If y'all did check in, I would say tune into that because it seems to be what all the hype was really about. And you know, it seemed like they took a little bit of the above the rim storyline in the beginning, but Will did write about some of the stuff. He got in trouble and had to move to Bel Air to keep going. And I think that Will's mother's role to get him out of that situation. Not everybody who's a parent has the luxury of sending their kid across country to look and have the opportunity to become better through education or to shine their personality somewhere else. Some people just can't escape poverty in the ghetto, and they don't have the resources to do that. So I thought it was inspiring. And at the end of each show, I look for Will Smith's credit because I was saying to myself, Will Smith ain't just gonna put his name on nothing and not have nothing to do with it. You know, he's the closest actor to Denzel. I say this right. He's the closest black male actor to Denzel. He's played some great roles. If y'all haven't checked his King Henry movie out, and that story as well is on Serena and Venus, and I thought that that was a great, great movie. He played their father, and it shows the struggles that their father had to go through to raise Serena and Venus. And it was a lot of trial, it was a lot of error, but ultimately, yo, that movie was deep because it was some stuff that people didn't even know that he had to go through with his own, upbringing, not to hold back, but to help Venus and Serena get to where he felt was their best situation. And that's a whole nother movie and a whole nother aspect. But shout out to Will Smith for making great content and doing great stories. He also did a great job in Muhammad Ali and a few other movies that I may have not mentioned. But so to speak, this movie, he doesn't even start and he just, found his lane where, it could be authentic as it could be and they could add more substance and narrative to relate to now time. So I believe yeah, this one's gonna be great to stick around. So y'all, again, let me know how y'all feel about that in y'all comments and share if you like this video or not. Moving along, we're gonna go into Snowfall. Snowfall is a show. They in season 4 right now. They keep great contents. They got great writers. I believe right now these probably are the best two shows out right now. I know a lot of people probably going to say the 50 shows. They have great, writers and storylines. But a lot of, to me, the problem with their storylines is it's like it's always the same narrative. It's always they they bring great content to add along with it, but it's like, either they'll start from the beginning or they'll start from the end. And for me, it's like they add a lot along with it. Back to Snowfall. So Snowfall is kind of becoming similar to the Power series and whatnot, where it's like we all kind of get a distinction of how it's going to end. Because a lot of real life hustlers and whatnot, we know it end bad for them. It's either you going in the grave or you going in the cell. Not many survive and live on to tell their stories and still be up. You got a few who came from the bottom and still around. You some might will say like Jay-Z's story is inspirational because he was one of the few that was actually in the game and took other routes to get where he is right now and still live and tell about it without having to go through a lot of the headache with doing time. Back to Snowfall. So Franklin, they pick off good 24-year-old black male, and he's flying an airplane. Impressive. You know, is it believable? Yes. We are a people of resiliency. We are a people like no other that knows what it means to come from the dirt and rise up to exceeding your expectations. So Franklin and his family, everybody's up, everybody's doing good, business is going well. And then, it's like there's always roadblocks. There's always some shit that come along with the game. And the thing about Franklin's character is like he does well under pressure. He does what he needs to do in order to succeed, in order to progress. And, now they added this new chick who he's tight with, and he's about to become a family man. So the writers, the creators, they're doing an exceptional job. Shout out to them for keeping the content going along. But, you know, some people just can't wait to see how this is going to end. Now, if anybody knows who Franklin's real character is depicted by, it's Freeway Ricky Ross's character. And his story didn't end so well because he wound up doing a lot of time. So I'm interested to see at the end of whatever season they plan on ending it at, if they're going to make it factual. Because, again, like I mentioned earlier, a lot of times we get so caught up with all the good, all the, oh, he coming up, oh, he did this, oh, he did that. But people fail to share that at the end, it always turned out bad, even when you did so much good to progress. So it's like your work goes in vain. Now, I know Rick Ross didn't sign off on giving his life story away. And he even said, before, rest in peace to John Singleton, who helped create this show, he didn't give his blessings for a lot of what he shared with John Singleton. So they had their issues as well. My take on the whole thing is, you know, for those who involved, or so for those who get any kind of ideas from this, Rick Ross, he's been in the hood, he's been with a lot of programs, and he's done a lot of time, and he's still doing a lot of good things for himself and for the community as well. However, he's really not getting the recognition from them promoting his life to it being brought to the big screen. I don't even think he gets any PC from this show, if I'm correct or not. I may be wrong. So, Snowfall, is a show where you see trial and error. They got this character named Wanda, and in my time, I know a lot of single black females that was on drugs, and they got better. So you see the trial and error with her having to stay clean, because how they depicted her, she was at the bottom of the bottom. She sold her soul, she sold her body, and now she's recovering from that, but still dealing with her past. Like a lot of us still deal with our past and are even traumatized from our past. It's relatable if you've been in that environment and you can understand that, you know, I've done some things in my time that I'm not proud about. And to see a lot of this stuff being broadcast on the screen, I believe, like, especially during the crack pandemic, how I like to say it, or the crack era, there was a lot of things that still may go on still to this day, but they're less seen than what they was now. The streets and the corners are much more cleaner than they was when I was younger and had to look and walk past certain things. So they're bringing realistic shit that actually happened to the big screen. And, some kids, they may not care about that or take even heed to that, because the streets are much different now. The only thing that I can say now is that The gun violence is at an all-time high, and it was back then. The drug overdosing was at an all-time high, and it may still be. The numbers are consistent from then to now, but it's less. You see it walking to a corner store or going outside of your household. So where Snowfall picks up at is very entertaining. I can't wait to finish watching how this season especially progresses, because I look at this CIA agent. He's so determined, where he was miserable with his own life. All he has right now is work. His name was thrown in the mud in the papers, and his organization had no choice but to fall back on him. But he got back in good grace to take his spot as being a connect and promoting the government's agenda, because the government had a agenda in putting the drugs out in black communities, Latino communities, and they really didn't want to take responsibility for their actions, and they swept it under the rug like they sweep a lot of things under the rug still now to this day. So if y'all checking me out, if y'all vibing with me on a mental perspective, on a level up perspective, I watch these shows not only because they're entertaining, because they drop messages, they drop jewels where a lot of people from back then can relate to even now. The younger generation, they can take heed and warning if you in this situation and whatnot. I didn't talk about the BMF series because I watched only a little bit of that. I think that's another topic I want to get on, because a lot of people are looking up and depicting these characters, Big Meech and his brother T, because they didn't rap, and they stood their ground 10 toes. And that's to be commended. But what is the real message at the end of the day? Now, I believe this Fresh Prince of Bel Air show has a message for the youth. And it's important because, Will Smith was one of millions that actually made it out of poverty through family choices and resources, because he could have been easily caught up like so many of us, like so many tragedies that has plagued our community. And he's somewhat of a motivational inspiration to, yo, you can always come up out of from nothing. It doesn't always have to be, the same route, but you can simulate or format that route in your own direction. And that's my take, y'all. I appreciate y'all for taking the time out to tune in to what I got to bring to my channel. Remember, it's your boy Fly Money. This top numero uno. I'm signing off. Please do me a favor. Like, subscribe, and share this notification bell. Hit that notification bell so you could be up on all the trending topics. I'm out. One.